Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dante and today we are doing the Game Week 15 100 Experts video where we have a look at the data from 100 FPL Experts and see basically what they're up to this week. Who are they transferring in, out, who are they captaining, are they using any chips, etc, etc. And today guys, I have to say, we've got some really good data. Despite it being a game week where there's a lot of mystery, a lot of things up in the air at the moment, we've got some strong data today. So hopefully you're going to enjoy it, find it very useful. If you do, please do leave a like, massively appreciated, and do subscribe if you are new around here as well. But without further ado guys, let's have a look at the experts for this week. So here are the 100 that contributed this week. Massive shout out to all of these guys who have helped us all out with their data, what they're up to. Hopefully they're going to give us some really good stuff. I think they have this week. And yeah, like I say, hopefully you guys agree. Let me know what you think. So in general, 62% are making one transfer, 28% are making two transfers, just 2% are making 3 or more transfers. No one's using their wildcard or any other chip, and just 8% are not making a transfer this week. So of all of the game weeks we've seen so far, this is the lowest it's actually been. So this really is a game week for making transfers, and I know you guys are probably going to have 1 or 2 issues with your team. We're hopefully going to sort you out today, but yeah, it's definitely a week, I would say, judging by these trends, it's definitely a week to make some transfers, at least one transfer, maybe even 2. And don't be too afraid to take a -4, because I know a lot of our experts this week are indeed taking a -4 to sort their team out for these final 2 game weeks before the World Cup break. So first of all, let's have a look at the Game Week 15 transfer trends overall. So this is not the experts data, this is the overall data, which I think is very useful to try and get an idea of whether the experts kind of have their thoughts aligning with the wider FPL community, I suppose. And you can see here, the most popular transfers in are Wilson and Almiron and Trossard there as well. 3 clear favourites in terms of popular transfers in. Let's see, first of all, do these kind of convene? Or do they converge with the experts? Well, I have to say, some of them do, particularly at the top. Wilson, Almiron, Trossard, De Bruyne and Rashford are also heavily being transferred in by our experts. So these are not just popular in the world, they are popular among experts as well. But that does leave quite a few players on this list who are there's not so much interest in. So there's a few players there's minimal interest, or a lot of our experts already have these players, but there are some who are actually just not being bought in at all and are actually being sold by some of our experts as well. And they are Dalot, Mitrovic and Jesus. So Mitrovic, even though he's a popular transfer in among the wider FPL community, actually he's being sold by a lot of our experts. We've got some other players here, no interest in Dalot, no interest in Jesus, and players like Trippier and Martinelli. These players are pretty much owned by all of our experts anyway. If you want to own one of these players, you probably have them already. So it's not necessarily that they're bad transfers. It's just that it's probably likely that if you are, a decent FPL manager, you probably already have these players in, and hopefully you guys can jump in on that as well. But let's actually have a look at the moves that our experts are making. So first of all, the transfers out. So the most popular transfer out by an absolute landslide is Tony. Obviously, Tony, he is suspended for Game Week 15, so he's not going to be available to play at all. So definitely the first priority, if you have Tony in your team, he's the first player you should be thinking about removing right now. And I actually didn't realise how many of our experts actually own Tony. That is quite a lot, and they are all selling him. Quite crazily, they are all selling him. But there we go. Moving on to Mitrovic, 24 transfers out. Obviously, he plays Manchester City next, and then Manchester United after that. So 2 very tough fixtures for Mitrovic. This might be a good time to jump off of him. Zaha has been disappointing, so a few sales there. We have got Saka being sold by a few people as well. He is back in training, however. We got the news today that Saka is back in training. So maybe that's if our experts had that information before I collected this, the data, then maybe we wouldn't see so many Saka transfers out. But even if he is available, there is a chance that because he's just coming back from an injury, maybe he does get that rest in Game Week 15. A few transfers out for Salah, Firmino, the Liverpool boys, and Andreas. A few transfers out for him as well, as obviously 2 tough fixtures. Maybe some of them are moving to some other slightly cheap midfielders that you might be thinking of already. Transfers in, Wilson at the top. Callum Wilson, like, this is actually crazy. 49 out of the 92 experts making a transfer this week are bringing it in Wilson. So we're actually going to probably see Wilson owned by over half of FPL experts going into next game week, which is really significant. And what that tells us is Wilson is an absolute must-buy. It's very rare that you see so many good FPL managers all coming to the exact same conclusion, and that tells us we need to be buying Wilson. So if you're looking for a transfer target right now, I always say the experts transfers in is probably your watch list in a way. This is the list of players that you probably should keep an eye on to maybe buy this game week, and Wilson is just a clear favourite in that. But there are some other players in there as well. Trossard and Rashford. I know a few of you guys have been asking me, who do you prefer, Dan? Trossard or Rashford? Which one of the two would you go for game week 15? And our experts are going for Trossard slightly more than they're going for Rashford. So maybe if you have that 50-50 decision, you don't know who to go for, Trossard or Rashford, maybe that is leaning you towards Trossard. But that's not to say that Rashford is a bad transfer in either, because, you know, we've got 12 transfers in for him. That is still a decent number. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, a bit of a differential there, 7.9 million for the forward. If you're looking for a forward player and you already maybe have 3 Newcastle players, maybe you've got Pope, Trippier, maybe you've got Cher, maybe you've got Botman, maybe you've got Almiron in your team already. In that case, then maybe you can't actually go for Callum Wilson. You need another forward. DCL is there, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and maybe Skamaka and Solanke are on this list as well, so maybe you can consider those players. De Bruyne very popular, Almiron very popular, again due to his amazing form for his cheap price, and Foden actually 4 transfers in, which, considering he is one of the most popular transfers out among the wider FPL community, for our experts to actually be transferring him in, I think that says a lot, really, doesn't it? That there's going to be a little bit of a difference there. You know, maybe the slightly more casual players who don't do as much research will actually be selling Foden, whereas us guys who are in the know, we have that information, maybe we will actually be going for Foden and backing Foden a little bit more and seeing what he can do in this coming game week. So let's suggest some transfers for you guys. So first of all, Tony to Wilson is one of the most, you know, sometimes I call a transfer a slam dunk transfer. And what I mean by that is it's just so obvious that, you know, it kind of, the transfer makes itself for you. You don't even need to think about it. It's a complete no-brainer. And that's exactly what we got here. If you have Tony and you don't have 3 Newcastle players already, Wilson is the really obvious replacement for you. You can also consider Dominic Calvert-Lewin if you already are tripled up on Newcastle. But yeah, Wilson is definitely the priority there. And as an alternative, if you still want to make a forward transfer, you've got Mitrovic in, you don't want to play him in the next 2 game weeks in these tough fixtures, maybe Mitrovic to Wilson could also work for you. For our midfielder transfers, Zaha to Trossard looks like a pretty good transfer there. Obviously, we said about Trossard and Rashford being the 2 top picks in terms of midfielders to go for right now. Trossard slightly edges it, so maybe go for him. But if you do prefer Rashford, then that's absolutely fine as well. Zaha, with his bad form that he has been showing recently, maybe it is time to remove him. You've got West Ham next. That's a difficult fixture, particularly away from home. And yeah, Rashford maybe could do the job in replacing him. Also, we've got Salah to De Bruyne here. So this was a move made by a few of our experts as well. Wanting to get in on those Manchester City players, hopefully the more nailed on Man City players as well. So yeah, maybe that's a decent transfer that you can go for, particularly if you're kind of worried about Haaland and you want to captain someone else from Man City. De Bruyne could be your friend there. So Salah to De Bruyne. A few of you guys are considering this move. I would say that is probably the only way I would sell Salah if it was to mean bringing in De Bruyne. That would probably be the only way I would do that, because De Bruyne, I think he is a better pick than Salah right now, but let's not get it twisted. Salah, you know, he's been performing very well, particularly in Europe at the moment. Scored last game week, scored against Man City a few weeks ago as well, absolutely destroying it. I think he's now 7 goals and 1 assist in his last 7 games in all competitions. So you can't exactly call that bad form, in my opinion. Maybe you hope for a little bit more, particularly in the Premier League, but still, Salah De Bruyne, it's an option. It's an option, but don't rush into it too headstrongly, I guess. Let's have a look at some captains. Alright guys, this is where things get a little bit messy, because a lot of our experts were kind of saying to me, listen, obviously we don't know for sure if Haaland is going to be available for Game Week 15, but if he is, I absolutely must captain him, and that's kind of reflected here in the stats. So yeah, Haaland 82%. If he is available for this Fulham game, and the comments from Pep Guardiola are kind of like, yeah, Haaland, he's going to be rested midweek in the Champions League, and then we're going to see, and we're going to hope that he is available for the weekend's game against Fulham. And if he is, this is going to be a very big score for him. This is going to be the best opportunity that Haaland has had all season to get some results. Now, he hasn't trained yet, but hopefully over the next couple of days, we'll see if he is training. Maybe by the kickoff of the first game, we'll also get some early team news and find out. But basically, guys, if Haaland is available for this game week, it is a very easy captain. But there are some other players in here. Foden at 5%, so a few people backing Foden, as I say. Foden backed by the experts and not so much by everyone else. Salah is in there still if you want to captain just a premium premium. We've got Cancelo and De Bruyne, so some more Man City players in this Fulham fixture, which I think is pretty nice. And some people looking at the Wilson performance from last game, where you can say, hey, Southampton, maybe that's a decent fixture for him. Wilson does incidentally have a very good a very good record against Southampton, so maybe he can do the business there. Now, there are two differential captains as well. People going for, you know, a captain that's one of each of these two players. So, yeah, we've got one of our experts who's going for Martinelli, one of them going for Rashford. These are super differentials. These are not trends, so I would not consider these too much, which is why I've not put them on screen. But, yeah, that completes the 100% with Martinelli and Rashford each on 1%. But, yeah, fraud watch for those people, because those are super differential indeed. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I wish I could give you more information about Haaland at this juncture, but all I can say to you guys is try and look out for news, press conferences, look for pictures if he's training, try and look for early team news if you're around and available near the FPL deadline. Maybe you can get some early team news there as well. And if you do get it and Haaland is playing, then captain him. If he's not, there are some other options. Foden, Salah, Cancelo, De Bruyne. Probably want to stick with Man City, to be honest, but that's by no means the only way you can go. So there we have it. Pretty quick video today, guys, because I just wanted to race through it and get all of the information to you as quickly as possible. But if you do enjoy the 100 expert videos, please do make sure you are liking to let me know that you do like these videos. I like them a lot, and it's always good to get some feedback and know if you guys appreciate them as well. Please do subscribe if you're new around here as well and you like this kind of content and you want a little bit more of it. We've got my team selection video coming up tomorrow, and we're going to do an algorithm video on Friday as well, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm going to try and put up some content this week on my second channel. So if any of you guys are subscribed to my second channel, then maybe you'll see something there within the next couple of days. But that's pretty much it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you later, mates. Bye bye.